What's up? Welcome to your Daily Buckeye Blitz for a Sunday. You know it's a Sunday fun day around here. June 9th, 2024. We are rolling on fire. Maybe it's because it's 1,000 degrees outside. I don't know. With 110% humidity. Is that even possible? I don't know. We're testing physics here in Florida. Hopefully you're enjoying the Memorial Tournament. I know I am. I always loved the Memorial. I only went like once or twice back in the mid 90s. So hard to get, I don't know, just hard to get down there. It's always doing something else, but it's a good time. I highly recommend it if you're in the area. I got to try and get back for one. I remember seeing Tiger Woods like way early in his career, like his first or second year on the tour. He was out of college and was already pro. And we were looking at this guy like, it's a skinny son of a bitch. This guy's, how the hell is he supposed to be so good? You know, he was like $175 dripping wet, you know, with batteries in his pocket. He's like, what, 6'2", maybe? So, yeah, probably 6'2". I don't think he's much taller than that. But anyways, we weren't impressed by his stature, that's for sure. But he could freaking rip it. Anyway, enough golf. You didn't come here for that. Please visit thebuckeyecast.com. I would greatly appreciate any support you can throw our way. We have shirts, hats, all the gear you need, and you can check out the video vault. Consider becoming a member. Give it a free trial and let me know what you think. All right, today we're talking summer enrollees. These guys just moved in last week, so we officially have all of the 2024 class on campus now. Even that wacky Australian punter guy who could double as a defensive end, I think. Anyway, let's do it. So I don't know. I'll ask you guys. You tell me, do you expect to see any of these guys on the field in the fall? Mylan Graham, maybe on special teams. I don't know. Punter's coming in to compete for a starting gig. With a 16-game season, you might need some of these freshmen to get in on the field. So let's talk about them. Ohio State really doesn't need many of its freshmen to play big roles this year, but there's plenty of new guys, new freshmen coming in that are worth watching for. The Buckeyes are loaded with veterans entering this season. You had so many guys return, come back for their senior years, but very few openings for freshmen to play right away on the team. But Jeremiah Smith has his spot locked up, I would say, in the wide receiver rotation. At least he should, right? At least in pencil. He enrolled early and made his mark in the spring. Then you also have five-star defensive ends, Edric Houston, and then four-star running back James Peoples. You got 16 freshmen that enrolled early in January. That's a big number. That's unusual. 7 of the recruiting class just arrived last week as summer enrollees. You got Mylan Graham, tight ends Max LeBlanc and Dearion Whitten, offensive lineman Gabe Van Sickle, defensive end Dominick Kirks, safety Leroy Roker, and punter Nick McClarty of the Australia McClartys. So who should we watch for playing time this year? Let's talk about Mylan Graham first off the bat here. The 5th composite 5-star in Ohio State's freshman class. Yes, that's 5 stars. Joins Jeremiah Smith, Edric Houston, cornerback Aaron Scott, and freshman quarterback Julian Sayin. Graham has elite speed and acceleration with game-breaking open field ability. That yards after catch he's a beast with that. He could get a shot at kick returns in 2024, maybe a gunner on the punt team, but probably not punt returner because OSU typically uses an experienced receiver with good hands that they can trust to field punts. As a junior in high school, Graham racked up 1,149 receiving yards on just 48 catches That's an average of 23.9 yards per reception. And he got those yards, like I said, on his ability to run after the catch. He's a catch and go kind of guy, and he just leaves a freaking trail. And then last year, he followed that up with 39 receptions, 566 yards in just 7 games as a senior. So Ohio State's wide receiver room is one of the most loaded in college football. Graham's going to have to compete against second-year guys like Carnell Tate, Brandon Ennis, alongside of Jeremiah Smith for playing time. So he's got the versatility to play inside and outside slot or outside receiver, but he should have a path to play receiver in his second year if he develops as you expect. Next up, tight end / wide receiver Dearion Whitten. Whitten's versatility makes him an exciting prospect. He's got the length that I love to play tight end at 6'4", but his speed and agility could present serious matchup problems for linebackers as a receiving threat. Ryan Day said this on National Signing Day, quote, "You watch him on the basketball court, and he's going to have to grow into playing tight end if that's where he ends up getting down in there. You can do multiple things with Dearion, and he could be a matchup issue, but his length and his size and his ability to play the ball is tremendous." So again, Ted Ginn Sr. did a great job identifying him early on. We jumped on him early, and you can see his ceiling is extremely high. So where Whitten will need to develop is in the blocking part of his game. Of course, he'll need to bulk up too, put on some pounds. He was just 215 when he signed with the Buckeyes. He wasn't a highly rated recruit. He was ranked 464 in the 24/7 composite. But with a few years of seasoning and development, he's got a huge upside. There's also a chance Whitten could be a wide receiver in the long run. That's where he'll start his career because of the lack of depth in the wide receiver room. Plus, in the tight end room, you got G. Scott Jr., Jelani Thurman, Will Kazmarek. They're going to take the bulk of the reps in the tight end room. So it'll be interesting to see how Whitten develops, and where his strengths are. Can he put on the weight necessary to bulk up and play tight end? You never know. He might just be a tall, 6'4", 215, 220 wide receiver at some point. Next up, Dominick Kirks. He's not arriving in Columbus with the 5-star pedigree like an Edric Houston, but he adds much needed depth to this defensive line class. They only signed 3 guys: Houston, Eric Mensah, and Dominick Kirks. He was a 4-star recruit ranked number 163 in the country and 24th among defensive linemen. His basketball background gives him a head start with the agility and footwork needed to give pressure off the edge as a defensive end. He piled up 11.5 sacks in just 7 games as a senior last year. Helps that Kirks is an Ohio native and a lifelong Buckeye fan. That helps with the culture and leadership in the locker room. And like many of his freshman teammates, he'll mostly be developing his game over the summer. Ryan Day said, quote, "I think when Dom came down, you quickly saw that this was what he wanted. He wanted to be a Buckeye. He's from the state of Ohio. He understands the rivalry. There's a lot that was positive there. He knows he's going to have to work and compete. So excited to see how things go with him." Next up, tight end Max LeBlanc. LeBlanc is more refined of the 2 tight end prospects. He's ranked as the number 14 composite tight end in the class and number 258 prospect overall. Like Whitten, he's more developed as a receiver. He often played out of the slot in high school. He caught 49 passes for 884 yards, 10 touchdowns his senior year. Ryan Day said about him, quote, "His family's from Canada in Montreal. He came down from Canada and had to make the transition to a school where he was on his own. He really did a great job when he was there, and his film is tremendous. We think he brings a lot of versatility to the team." Yeah, Montreal to Tennessee is not exactly the same. And the punter, Nick McLarty. outside of Jeremiah Smith, McClarty could be the only other freshman that makes a big impact this year for the Buckeyes. Coming in at 6'7", 255. He was brought in from Australia to compete for the Buckeyes starting punter job in 2024. He's going to battle the Buffalo transfer, Anthony Veneri, and then his fellow Aussie, Joe McGuire, for that job. And then two more guys that are really developmental projects. These guys probably will never see the field in 2024. Number one, offensive lineman Gabe Van Sickle. He's from Coopersville, Michigan, 6'5", 283. He's a four-star, though, a 9087 interior O-lineman at 6'5". It's pretty big, huh? Number 283 in the class, number 17 interior O-lineman, and number 6 player in Michigan. And then Leroy Roker out of Fort Myers, Florida, 6'1", 170. He is a 3-star, 8728, nationally ranked 843, number 88 safety, number 119th player in Florida. So those two guys are really going to be getting adjusted to college football, and I would not look for those two to get on the field. So instant impact guys. If McClarty wins that punting job, definitely him. Obviously, if Mylan Graham can get in on special teams, that'd be nice. And then Whitten, I'm not sure he's going to get on the field much. Again, maybe special teams, but those are the big impact guys that I see on this team. So coming in this summer, this is just summer enrollees, I should have said. But anyways, so I got for you today. Talk to you tomorrow. Go Bucks.